Welcome to another deep dive from Mobile Home Friend. Today we are looking at the critical topic of electrical system upgrades based on our latest research at mobilehomefriend.com. I'm Chuck and I'm joined by my co-host.
So, we're going to jump right in with a pretty blunt question, because frankly, is that serious? Is your home's electrical system a liability? For a whole lot of older mobile homes out there, the answer is a definite and kind of scary yes.
And before we get into all the technical stuff, let's just get the big number out of the way. You're looking at a range of about $2,500 to $6,500. I know, that's a serious chunk of change, but stick with us because we're going to show you why this is probably one of the most important investments you could ever make in your home.
Right. That investment is all about fighting a battle you can't even see. I mean, think about it. The biggest dangers could be lurking right behind your drywall, totally silent, just waiting for a chance to cause a huge problem.
Exactly. And based on our research at Mobile Home Friend, it almost always comes down to two main culprits. First, you've got these old, undersized electrical panels that just weren't built for our modern lives. And second, and this is the big one, you have that outdated and frankly dangerous aluminum wiring.
Yeah, let's really zero in on that wiring for a minute, because this is the single biggest red flag we run into. We're not just talking about old technology here. To be perfectly clear, aluminum wiring is a documented fire hazard, period.
And you know, this wasn't just some random thing. There was a very specific window of time when this was a huge issue. If your home was built between the mid-60s and the mid-70s, you really need to listen up. That was the boom time for using aluminum to save a buck on copper, right before everyone realized how dangerous it really was. So what's the actual problem here? Well, it's really just basic physics. It's called thermal expansion. Every time you run electricity through a wire, it heats up and expands. Then it cools down and shrinks. The thing is, aluminum does this way more than copper. Over years and thousands of these cycles, the connections at your outlets and light switches literally wiggle themselves loose. Now, if you want the full technical breakdown, we've got it all laid out in the post on mobilehomefriend.com. And a loose connection, that's where the disaster starts. It creates resistance, that resistance creates a ton of heat, and that heat starts fires. As we put it in our research, and you can see it right there, this is a documented fire hazard and a massive liability. There's no gray area here, folks. It's a serious problem.
Okay, so that's the silent threat hiding in the walls. But let's pivot to the other liability, the one you probably do notice in your day-to-day life, the electrical panel itself. And the solution here really comes down to one number, 200 amps. This isn't just a nice to have, it's the modern standard for a reason.
And this chart just lays it out perfectly. Look at the difference. A 100 amp panel might have been fine back in the day, but it just can't hang anymore. You try to run a new HVAC system, you're tripping breakers. Insurance companies, they're increasingly just saying no thanks. But a 200 amp panel, that's built for today. It can handle your heat pump, your new appliances, even an EV charger down the road. It basically future-proofs your home and makes it insurable and sellable.
All right, so we've just thrown a lot of kind of scary stuff at you. Fire hazards, insurance denials. It can feel like a lot, but here's the good news. There are very clear, very safe solutions. So now let's actually walk through what a professional upgrade looks like so you know exactly what you're paying for.
Okay, for that aluminum wiring issue, the proper fix is a process called copper pigtailing. It sounds technical, but it's pretty simple. An electrician comes in, connects a short piece of safe, modern copper wire to the end of that old aluminum wire. And the key is that they use a special code-approved connector to join them. That little connector is what stops the expansion and loosening problem, creating a solid, safe connection at your outlet. It completely neutralizes the fire risk.
And that, of course, brings us right back to the budget. We're calling this the cost of safety because that's exactly what it is. This is not like picking out new flooring. This is a foundational investment in the security of your home and your family's well-being.
All right, let's put some hard numbers to this. This table is pulled straight from our 2025 guide on the Mobile Home Friend website. As you can see, just upgrading the panel from 100 to 200 amps can run you anywhere from $2,000 to $4,500. But if your home needs that full aluminum wiring fix, you could be looking at $7,000 or more. It's really critical to get a pro out to tell you exactly what you're dealing with.
And listen, when you decide to get this work done, there are some things that are absolutely non-negotiable. First off, this is not a DIY project. You have to hire a licensed and bonded electrician. The work must be done with a permit, and it has to pass a final inspection. Without that official paper trail, you've basically thrown your money away when it comes time to insure or sell your home.
You know, I have to jump in here because this is so important. This quote says everything you need to know. If a contractor offers to do a panel swap without pulling a permit, fire them immediately. Seriously, that is the biggest red flag you will ever see.
It's a sign that they are not qualified, they are not insured, and they are putting you and your home in serious danger. Just walk away. So really, let's just boil it all down to this one simple idea. Upgrading your electrical system isn't a cosmetic choice. It's not like picking new paint colors. It's a critical, foundational investment in your family's safety, in your ability to get insurance, and in the actual long-term value of your home.
So, we've laid out the risks, we've walked you through the solutions, and we've talked about the costs. The only thing left to ask is, what's your next step to make sure your home is safe? Thanks for watching. For more guides and the full article on this topic, head over to mobilehomefriend.com. Don't forget to check the links in the description below.